All right. Happy Friday, my friends. Welcome back to another Dividend Happy Hour. Hope everyone had a great week. I'm already tripping over my words. Pretty crazy week on the market. Real quick, let me know in the chat. Were you guys up? Were you guys down this week? How are things looking in your portfolio? It was a pretty crazy week. Today was certainly a red day over in my portfolio, and I'll show you guys the portfolio performance for the week here in just a moment. Before we do, though, a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm going to apologize in advance. Just like last week, this week's stream is going to be a relatively shorter one. I'm probably going to have to start winding it down here in about 30 minutes. My wife's making a really, really killer dinner. We're doing like homemade burritos. She's already done a lot of the prep work, so I don't want to keep her waiting too long. So we'll probably wrap it up around 5:30-ish or so tonight. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up there, and I apologize because I know the second week in a row we've done that. So that's item number one. Number two, why don't we kick this thing off the best way we know how? Let's not waste any time. Grab whatever it is you're sipping on, guys. Oh, love it. Cheers. Here's to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with me tonight. Hope everyone had a fantastic week, and I'm so stoked to see you guys tonight, all 87 of you. So cheers to you guys, and also here's to the dividends. Here's to the pursuit of that sweet, sweet cash flow, because really, at the end of the day, that's what's bringing us all together here, our love for passive income. But nonetheless, cheers. Ooh, that's so good, guys. So good. I'm drinking a Coke Zero. It's also got zero caffeine. So, so good. Let me know a few things here in the chat, guys. Number one, I want to know, what did you buy this week? Which stocks did you add to your portfolio? There's getting to be quite a few good looking deals and discounts out there. And I'm going to be putting out a video tomorrow. Might be a little bit early, but I'm going to put a video out tomorrow talking about, my deeply discounted stock picks for the month as we head into April. I've got about a week left here in March, but I'll still put that video out. I think it still works. So I'm talking about 3 good stocks there, but let me know what you guys bought this week, what you think is looking good. That's number one. Number two, what are you sipping on tonight? What did you bring to drink to the Dividend Happy Hour? Number three, did anything cool happen in your guys' portfolio this week? Did you guys, maybe you hit 100 shares of SCHD, or maybe you hit $1,000 of annual dividend income? Anything cool? Any milestone that you guys hit? I want to hear about it in the chat. And number four, I'd also like to hear if we have any first timers here to the Dividend Happy Hour. Let us know in the chat here if this is your first time tuning into the stream. In case it is, welcome aboard. We're stoked to have you. And we do this live stream every single week, every Friday night, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Usually we run it for an hour, but this week and last week I've been bad. I've been spending, I shouldn't say bad, but I've been spending time with the lady, and it's been fun. We've been having some good dinners. Last week we had a Chipotle date. This week we're doing something similar, but at home. And so I hope you guys don't mind me cutting the stream a bit short for that. So yeah, let me know all those things in the chat. Let me go through and see who all we got in the building here. Then I want to jump over and show you guys what's been happening in my portfolio this week. We'll look at the performance for the week, for the month, and also year to date against a few different things. We'll look at it compared to the S&P 500, to the NASDAQ, and also to SCHD. So let's see here. Who all we got? Let me scroll up to the very tippy top here. Okay, the first person I see here in the chat is my man, Matt. Matt, what's going on, dude? Happy to see you. Andrew's here as well. We've got the lean, mean Dean Machine. What's up, Dean? Hope you had a good week. We've got Sir Dude Bro Man, of course. Good to see you, man. Fast Eddie's here. What's up, Eddie? We got Thieve in the building. Marcus is here currently at the airport in Monterrey, Mexico, on my way back to Puerto Vallarta. Nice. Well, safe travels, my friend. Rich is here. Brandon. Oh, man. Hope the surgery went well. Take my mind off the pain. Hopefully nothing too serious, man. But, you're at least okay enough to type here. So I'm happy to see you, and I'll definitely keep you in my thoughts as you recover. Here's to a speedy recovery. How about that? Heather's here. What's going on, Heather? Hope you're doing well. Bilgan, my friend Bilgan's here. Haven't seen you for a couple weeks. Maybe you were here last week, but good to see you nonetheless. Basit is here. Break even. Batman is here. Nice. We got Pat down around 2%. Raid is here. What's going on? We've got Vasco. What's going on, Vasco? Aussie Dividend, Korean Cardboard. My man, ex-Dividend Dad. What's going on? Burrito is causing this to be short. What in the burrito? Yeah, I know, man. If you could smell what I'm smelling right now, you would do the same. And in fact, you probably would have canceled the stream. Let me tell you, oh, they're going to be so good. So good. I ran 6 miles today just to burn some extra calories and prep for this. It's going to be a glorious, glorious dinner. And my wife also made chocolate chip cookies, of which I've had 2, and I'll probably have a couple more after dinner. So it's going to be a good evening of eating. Salts is here. What's up, Salts? Joey V. Who else? Kevin is here. What's up, Kevin from Lakeland? Good to see you. Korean Cardboard. I think I already said what's up to you. Latte and a chocolate bread. That sounds good. Dom's here. What's up, Dom? Jose is here as well. Finally caught the live. Been trying to for so long. Well, man, happy to see you here. What else we got? What else we got? Ooh, Rich is sipping on a little Jack and Coke. That sounds good. Batman with the Sprite. Very nice. Pat, some lemonade. There you go. Life with Ro is here too. What's going on? Ooh, Matt's got a Fanta. That sounds good. Love Fanta. Heather, up and down all week, ended down, but received some good dividends from Clear Secure and LYD. What's LYD? Maybe you mean LYB. I don't know. Maybe it's LYD. Anyway, looks like we got a super chat here from Thief. Tell me your thoughts on CNK. Okay. Well, let me circle back to this if you don't mind. We'll take a look at it. Thank you for the super chat. So CNK, guys, is Cinemark. Thief left me another comment wanting to check it out. I guess they just reinstated their dividend. So we'll look at that. See what's going on. Nice. Ex-Dividend Dad sipping Bud Light and bought some Microsoft. Very good. Very, very good. Microsoft's seeing a nice pullback. What else we got, guys? All right, let's keep going here. See some Amazon. I see a lot of SCHD and Realty Income. Realty Income's not too bad of a buy right now. Still in the, mid to upper 50s. That's not bad. Let's see. Tony bought some ASML. There you go. Oh, and looks like we got a couple first-timers, guys. We've got No Race Car and Beseat, our first-timers to the live stream. Well, welcome, my friends. I hope you enjoy it. And once again, we do this every single week. So if you guys do enjoy this one, I hope to see you back next week. So let's see what else. Ooh, Sean with some nice pickups here. So Nike, Elf Cosmetics, and SoFi. Man, Nike just cannot catch a break. Their earnings, I haven't gone through them super deep, but from what it looked like, it wasn't great. And the next quarter as well, which will be, interestingly, that will be Q4 2025 for them. It's supposed to be pretty rough, like mid-teen declines in revenue, and gross profit margins might be down like 4 to 5% just next quarter. So yeah, Nike's going through a tough time right now. Tough time. What else we got here? Yeah, I'm seeing some a handful of Blue Owl purchases. There you go. Oh, Thief. I'm having my mom watch for the first time, if that counts. It counts for her, and I hope she enjoys the stream. Hey, Mom. Hope you enjoy this, and happy to have you tuning in. So what else we got? Yeah, Fast Eddie with a lot of pickups here. Nike, NVIDIA, Realty Income, Apple, Visa, Rollins. A lot of good stuff there. A lot of good stuff. Sir Duderman with some Broadcom, of course. John says, first timer drinking a gold peak 0T. Your opinion on investing in all the Magnificent Seven? I don't have a serious opinion on it. I mean, they're obviously very strong companies. I prefer, I guess, to just have exposure to those through the S&P 500, at least for me. But if you want to own them individually, I don't see, I definitely think there's worse things you can do. So, oh, there we go. Heather says, I'm new to dividend investing and hit my goal of 5K in my portfolio 2 months early. Well, congrats, Heather. That's a really cool milestone, and keep up the good work. Pretty soon you'll be at 10K. Just keep growing that thing. So Bilgan, this is good. I'm glad you brought this up. When are you doing STHD reconstitution live? That will be Monday. So, and I need to text the guys. I need to text Russ and Craig. But on Monday, myself, Russ, and Craig, aka SCHD Stan, will be doing a live stream on here just to go over the reconstitution, SCHD's reconstitution, which happened today. It happens the third Friday in March every single year, but they'll probably announce the results on like first thing on Monday. So we're going to get together Friday night and just kind of go over it all and share our thoughts. And I'm hoping that I can squeeze this in before the live stream, but I'm going to try and put out like a quick recorded video just breaking down the reconstitution as well, all the changes. I usually make one of those videos every year, and I'm going to try and do that again this year. So hopefully I'll be able to do that Monday. Jose's first time here. What's up, Jose? Brandon's first time here as well. Nice. Just subscribed a couple days ago. Cool. Very cool. Oh, is Realty Income sub 56? Okay, nice. Also just crossed 100 shares of SCHD. There you go. Good job. Marilyn, first time in the live stream. Welcome, Marilyn. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Salt's got his wisdom teeth taken out. Man, I remember that. I remember having to do that. I was so loopy. It hurt too, like not after the fact, because you get all whacked out. But yeah, I remember those couple days after just being with the the gauze and stuff you got to stick in. I remember it being kind of just painful and uncomfortable. So wishing you a speedy recovery, my friend. So let's see. Matt, how's your wife's portfolio going? I think it's going fine. It's just, SCHD and the S&P 500 pretty much similar to my Roth IRA. So it's hanging in there for sure. So Asima, what's up, Asima? Okay, guys, we really need to scroll down. I see a couple other first timers here. Let me shout those out. Basit's first time, Marin's first time. There you go. Welcome to both you guys. So, okay. Aiden, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm scrolling down to just catch up on all these chats here. Like I said, we got to wrap this up probably in about 15 minutes. Danny's first time in the stream. What's up, Danny? Wrap this up here in about 15 minutes. So I got to hustle and get down to business. It's Alan's first time too. Welcome, Alan. And thanks for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that. Okay, guys. So let's start here with Thieve's comments. Thieve said, tell me your thoughts on CNK. So CNK, once again, is Cinemark. Let's go check it out. I don't know that I've actually looked at the financials on this company. I don't have high expectations. So let's go over here, jump over to Snapstock, CNK. Simultaneously, I want to pull up Seeking Alpha to see what the dividend news is. Why don't we just start there? So announced a buyback program. That's cool. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be the best place to go. Real quick, do you guys like this? They're Seeking Alpha's earnings call insights. Have you guys been reading these at all? What is your take on this? I think it's kind of a cool addition to the platform. But let me know if you guys have been reading these. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. Okay, so where is it? Talk about the dividend. How about we do this? It's probably right in front of me. There we go. Annual cash dividend of 32 cents per share. So 32 cents per share per year. Let's do some math here. So 0.32 divided by, I guess it's right in front of me, 1.2% yield. So that's not, I guess that's not terrible. It just depends how they're going to be able to grow that dividend. And we can get a good gauge on that just by looking at the financials. So 1.2% starting yield. That's where we're at right now. And let's see what things are looking like here. So jumping over to Snapstock, guys, which by the way, tomorrow is going to be the last day that you can sign up for Snapstock for a while. We're going to be closing enrollment for a little bit and just to do some refinements and stuff like that. So if you guys have been wanting to join, tomorrow's the last day, which means it's the last day you'll be able to get 25% off of the platform. And there's a link to sign up to Snapstock and start using it, excuse me, in the description of the video. But anyway, looking at Cinemark, the Snap score is not very high. It's only 4. Pretty poor growth metrics, strong profitability and debt, dividends and buybacks, capital efficiency is 0. So just based on this, and we'll go through it top to bottom, based on this, it's not looking good. With that, the stock has seen some very strong performance in the last year. We saw it was up 40-something%. Excuse me, year to date, it's down 16%. And let's scroll down real quick and see what all is going on. So obviously the pandemic years were going to be pretty rough for Cinemark. That's no surprise. So 2020 to 2022, not surprising to see this big drop on revenue. But now that we're past that, we still have yet to see revenue recover to pre-pandemic levels. I would say that's a bit concerning. And as far as like trends of people going to the movie theaters, I don't really know. I actually don't know that I've gone to the theater once since the pandemic. Truly, guys, I don't think I've been once. And what about you guys? Like, are you guys regular moviegoers? Once things open back up, did you start going again? Tell me about like your habits and your visits to the movie theater. I'm curious to know. I always enjoyed going to the movies, but it's just always, I don't know. It's kind of weird since all of that happened. It's kind of just seemed very out of the way. Yeah, Sean says last time I went, it was 2018. Race Car says go once every 2 months. Ex Dividend Dad, I go to the movies with my kids. Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. I could see kids I could see that being a good thing to do with your kids for sure. Paolo, AMC every week. And that's the thing too. I just don't think there's enough good movies out there to go every week. I honestly, I would just go for the popcorn. Yeah, Top Gun 3, that would have been a good one to see. Fast Eddie 2 times a year. Anders, 1 movie in 6 years. That was Top Gun 2. Yeah, that was a good one. Did you guys watch Gladiator 2, by the way? Alan says saving movie tickets for SCHD. There you go. Pat can't afford the $50. I get you. It can be steep. Yeah, Joey says all the Marvel films you go see on the big screen. I get that too. I think I saw I was like that with Fast and Furious. Like I think I saw Fast 5 in theaters. This was obviously years ago at this point. I think I saw Fast 5 probably 5 or 6 different times in the theater. So, yeah, Maryland haven't gone since pandemic. My daughter goes though. Antonio says I only go to the movies when my people from blind rehab at the VA make an appointment for us to go, which is about once a year. Okay, so generally speaking, it doesn't seem like there's many regular moviegoers. And I would imagine that if we took a bigger poll of people, we'd hear some similar answers there. But anyway, let's keep going here, guys. So with that decline in revenue and recovery, we can see that the earnings per share took a similar hit since recovered. So they're back in the green. And if we exclude these years, the earnings really haven't been too bad. There hasn't been a lot of growth, actually hardly any growth actually over this last decade. So earnings have stayed pretty flat. Free cash flow per share looks to be doing the best out of these 3. And it does look like they have grown the free cash flow. This 1 year was negative. These were kind of rough, no surprise. But if we exclude these years, the trend is still up and to the right for the free cash flow per share. So I do think that is a good sign. Margins are actually pretty high for Cinemark. Prior to even actually in these years, guys, the gross margins were still pretty high, right? 2023 took a big hit. I don't know what happened there, but they recovered in 24. But yeah, these are high gross margins, pretty low net margins, similar free cash flow margins. It's not terrible, I guess. So this is good, though. According to this, the company has reduced their debt a lot. So that's a great sign. Really, really good sign. And in 2024, the net debt to free cash flow is only 1.68. Interest coverage still not great though. So even in 2024, it was only a 2. But I do like this right here. So that looks good to me. So have they not? It doesn't look like they've paid a dividend since 2020. So there were a few years there where they just didn't pay a dividend. And so now, what was the annual dividend per share? Was it 32 cents? Yeah, 32 cents for the annual dividend. So that's even below where the dividend was at in 2020. So we'll see how quickly they get back to these levels. But, prior to the pandemic, the dividend growth rate looked really good, as did the yield. The yield really wasn't too bad, guys. Like it got up to, in 2019, it got up to 4%. So we'll see. We'll see. TBD. The returns aren't great either, though. Like, the return on assets, return on equity, and return on invested capital are all pretty low. So, overall, I wouldn't have much interest in investing in this company. I don't really see the appeal to investing in it. Maybe you guys have a different sentiment, but if there is something I'm missing, and if there is an argument for investing in this company, I'd be interested in hearing it. But like I said, personally speaking, I just don't see it. So yeah, Gladiator 2 was mid. That I agree with you, Tony. Gladiator, it's hard to top the first Gladiator. The second one, I don't know. All right. So what else are we going to do? I was going to show you guys the portfolio. Okay. So I should show you the portfolio performance. So we're going to do that over here using Snowball Analytics, guys, which outside of my free portfolio tracking spreadsheet, this is hands down my favorite portfolio tracker. And if you guys want to check it out, there's a link in the description. You can try it out with a 2-week free trial. And I'd highly recommend at least checking out the trial because it's been such a great platform. I can't say enough good things about it. So did we see the portfolio value? Yeah. So right now I'm sitting at about 91.8K, which I think is a bit, maybe a bit lower compared to this time last week, pretty flat overall. And if we go over here, we'll look at, let's just look at this right here. So in the last 7 days, last week or so, pretty flat. I'm only up like 0.25%. Let's actually compare this to everything else here, excuse me. So we're comparing this to S&P, NASDAQ, and SCHD. Did I see something about Nike? Anyway, let's continue on with this. So looks like everything was pretty neck and neck this week. Over the last month, this is where things are at. So I'm down 3%, S&P's down 6%, NASDAQ's down 9%, and SCHD's outperforming everyone with a decline of only about 1.6%. So that one's definitely hanging in there. Year to date, this is where things are at, just barely in the green, guys, just barely in the green. So I'm still up about 3%. S&P's down 3.5%, NASDAQ down 6%, SCHD up 1.6%. And this is where things are at over the last year. I don't know why the chart's looking like this. It's kind of wonky. Here, maybe we just do this because it's SCHD that's screwing it up. So here's where things are at over the last year. I'm up 13% still hanging in there. S&P's up 9.3%. Looks like the NASDAQ's up 8.9%. So, we're hanging in there pretty good. Things are looking good. And here in March so far, I'm down 4.7%. Do you guys know how much you're up or down this month too? I'm curious to know where everyone's at. But yeah, 4.7%, quite a big drop. About where we were at in December. December was also a pretty tough month. And I think there was one other month here, maybe in 2023 before November, which was killer. Yeah, I guess this would have been my worst month since May 2023. So worst month in almost 2 years. Wild, guys. Wild. Yeah, so I kind of touched on Nike a bit earlier in the stream. Do I think it's a good buy today? Yeah, it's so tough. I think yes. I think if you are, because it's officially under $60 per share. The thing with Nike is if you really have to look at least a few years into the future and have go into it with the perspective that you're investing today for that at least that amount of time in the future, at least a handful of years. Ideally, we're all long-term investors, and ideally, going into these companies, you're buying them with the intent to hold on to them forever. And the only reason you would have that intent is because you think these businesses are going to continue to be around and be bigger tomorrow than they are today. And I know forever is a long time and things can happen, but generally speaking, we all have that long-term mindset. And if you do, I think you might as well buy a company like Nike if you think it's going to be around 10, 15 years from now. You might as well buy it today, even though it's tough and it's going through this turbulent time. And I'll maybe expand on that a little bit more. We can actually pull it up on Seeking Alpha too and look at some specifics. But if you're going to buy it now, seems like a pretty good time. The stock just can't catch a break. And I would say that is probably the big question mark is like limbo. How low can it go? How low can Nike go? And if we just go over here to, let me go back to the screen. If we just go back over here to Seeking Alpha, I mean, like I said, it's under $70 per share. It's down 5.5% just today. And in the last month, it's down over 12%. So it's tough. Like this stock really cannot catch a break. For a long time, it's over the last 5 years, it's down 8%. And it looks like it's, pretty much at its pandemic lows, almost there actually. March 23rd, 2020. It's crazy to think that was 5 years ago now. I'm actually just now realizing that. Wow. It was a little bit lower than the current share price, but yeah, that's the big question is how low can this stock go? So I don't know. It's obviously a better buy today than it was this time last month or this time last year, but I don't know. It just keeps hitting new lows. And I think that's the big question mark is when do you start a position in this company if all it seems to do is get cheaper and cheaper? With that said, though, there's no telling when the bottom's going to be in. And so if you think this is going to be a good long-term investment, then not a bad idea to start dollar cost averaging in now. And I'm so back and forth because as I say that, I'm looking at the PE ratio moving forward and it's still 34.4. And this is that's a high PE ratio for a business that, is, where was it? Where sales continue to go down. There was something I was reading. Actually, I think it was in this article here. So, and this kind of talks about, and I would highly recommend you guys read this article right here if you guys have Seeking Alpha. It was kind of talking about just the projections moving forward or the forecast from here. So in this quarter, sales were down 9% year over year, direct sales down 12%, wholesale revenue decreased 7%, and gross margins took a pretty big hit, down 3.3% to 41.5%. Meanwhile, all this happened while marketing expenses increased by 8%. And I don't know if it'll say it in here, but I think their inventory only declined like 2%. Yeah, right here. Inventories were reduced only by 2% year over year. So increased marketing, but even with increased marketing and increased discounts and deals and stuff like that, they're still having trouble moving product. And I think they were saying somewhere too, I think management was saying in the earnings call that it's full year 2025 and full year 2026 are going to be quote unquote transition years. So it's just, long story short, it's going to take some time for the ship to turn. It's a big ship. It's going to take some time to turn around, but I don't know. So I guess what I was trying to say is that PE ratio is really high for a company that whose financials are just getting worse and worse. And maybe if we go back over to Snapstock, we can see what some of the quarterly numbers have looked like. So let's do this. I mean, when you look at it on an annual basis, it looks pretty good. But these last couple years, these last few years, it's been rough. We see earnings declining since 2022. Same thing with revenues been going down. It's had its ups and downs, but generally speaking, it looks like it is steadily declining. Margins now, I mean, 41% are a bit lower than average. And I think they were, where was it saying it? Mm, I think it's right in here. Bear with me. They did raise their dividend, which is nice. There was something specific I wanted to see. Maybe it was in a different article. It was talking about maybe it's this right here, actually. And this probably explains the big drop today, too. Or this is, yeah, probably explains that. So, it's got to be somewhere in here, guys. I'm sorry. Got to be somewhere in here. Maybe not. Shoot. Okay, here we go. This is it. So in the next quarter, Q4 2025, management expects revenues to decline in the mid-teens. So, next quarter revenue might be down another 15%, 15 to 20%, with gross margins expected to decrease by another 400 to 500 basis points. So another 4 to 5%, which is going to push their gross margins down from, 41.5%, which are below average as it is, to 37, 36%, which is a lot lower for this company. So it really just depends. It really just depends what you think about the basically, it depends what you think about the future of this company. If you think it's going to turn around and if you think that Nike can pick things back up again, which they've got the brand power that it's not, I'd be surprised if they didn't. And if you think that's going to happen, then it's like, now it's not a bad time to start dollar cost averaging into it. Or, and who knows, like, because this year and next year are going to be these transition years, you've probably got time to just kind of wait and see what happens. So there's not like any sort of rush to capitalize on this low share price because it seems like it's going to be sticking around for some time. So I think it's not a bad buy today, but I think it could be prudent to maybe just wait and see how things shake out from here. But I don't know. Things can't get much worse for Nike, I think, after the Q4 news. So we'll see how that shakes out. And I know I was kind of rambling a lot in there, but it's something that I'm still thinking through too, because I've had my, I like this company and I'm interested in it, and then I'm not. I decide against it, and I've been very back and forth on Nike for some time. I think it's obviously like an incredible brand, one of the world's most recognizable brands, and in businesses. Oh, Nick, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I'm just now seeing it. But I don't know. Ultimately, I don't think this is a company that I will be investing in. I think that there are tons of others that I would rather put money into. And, Paolo, Nike brand won't go away. And that's, if you're of that opinion, then why not buy it when it's cheap, And Alan, this is spot on here too. This was a big part of of the woes that they're seeing right now. They pulled a lot of their product from their resale partners, which then paved the way for their competitors like the Hokas and the OnClouds and those other brands to come in and take that placement in those stores, which only helped those companies. I mean, those have exploded, and Nike's kind of, taken they were negatively impacted by that. So that was unfortunately, it was kind of a short-sighted move. During all of it, I could see why they went that direction. And in theory, it sounds good to want to increase your direct sales, but I don't know, probably they realize more balance is needed than anything else. So yeah. And this is spot on. Spot on. Yeah, Tony says, don't sleep on New Balance, taking Nike's lunch money. Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, you know, as I've been running these last handful of months, I have 2 pairs of Nike running shoes and I love them. Absolutely love Nike's running shoes. But at the same time, there are some other great brands out there. Like you said, New Balance is making great running shoes, Hoka, On Cloud, Brooks, Adidas, Saucony. I don't know how you pronounce it, but there's so many other great running brands out there. And I haven't seen a lot of brand loyalty yet when it comes to running shoes. It seems like runners are willing to at least try out other shoes just to see, because new shoes are coming out all the time. So with new technology and, new fitting and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of loyalty in the space. With Nike, maybe that's different though. There's Nike people. A lot of times it's. I don't know if it's this concrete, but it's kind of similar to like Coca-Cola people and Pepsi people. Coke people don't drink Pepsi. Pepsi people don't drink cola or Coca-Cola, excuse me. And I know there's some Nike people who only wear Nikes. They won't wear Adidas. You're either checks or you're stripes, right? But I don't know if it's as serious as what you see with Coke and Pepsi. So, but yeah, and this is my ultimate consensus right here. And what's up, Adam? Good to see you. Nike will be fine. Just need to wait 5 years. Need to be long term, and that's pretty much it. If you have a long term mindset, like I said, then maybe now's probably not a bad time to start dollar cost averaging into it, because the share price is lower than it's been in years. So yeah, that's pretty much that's my take on it. So anyway, guys, it's about 5:40. This always happens, and I pretty much planned for it to happen. When I say I got to wrap it up by 5:30, that means really it's like 10 minutes after that. You guys know how it goes. But yeah, so we're gonna real quick, actually, pot roast. Quick thoughts on Lowe's. It's starting to look pretty good. My average cost with Lowe's is 194.5, and I think if it gets maybe into the teens, maybe sub 220, I'll start adding into it. But I don't think it's a bad price right now, just objectively speaking. I think Lowe's is looking like a pretty decent buy. In fact, I almost included it in the video that's like talked in depth about it in the video that's going out tomorrow morning. It's in there, just not super in depth. But yeah, I think Lowe's is definitely at least one to keep an eye on. So I know it's always hard to go. Target, Pat, check out tomorrow's video. I'm talking about Target. Yeah, Target's such an interesting one. So yeah, guys, I gotta wrap it up here. I was just going to keep rambling. I'm wrapping it up here. I'm going. It's burrito time, but thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. Really fun to dive into Nike. Really fun to check out Cinemark too. And yeah, it was fun hanging out with you guys as always. I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend. Be sure to tune into tomorrow's video. It is going out first thing tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So yeah, you guys check that out. I hope you enjoy it, and leave me a comment on that video too if you do watch it. But with that, once again, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.